Hello everyone! I'm here to do a collective reading, so if you are here, this might be for you. However, if it does not fit, do not force it. Take only what resonates and leave the rest. Okay. Alright, let's get into it. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? I'm glad to be back. I don't know if I'm actually going to be posting this one or not. This is mostly a reading for self-confirmation here, and to process, extra processing. But if I do feel drawn or guided to share these messages with my collective, then I will do so. I do feel right now that the collective is kind of going through some level of self-mastery, overcoming some sort of obstacle that has held them back for quite some time, okay? Whatever this obstacle might be, I feel that it has to do with the self-worth. It has to do with the self-image. It has to do with the belief in the self and the ability to lead, okay? The ability to take the reins of one's life and make decisions based off of complete internal guidance and no external enforcement, no external confirmation, no external etc., okay? I feel as though there is a very empowering, self-empowering flow through the collective at this time. And I feel that it has to do as well with the interconnectedness within the all, okay? I feel as though there is this very enlightening realization of the interconnectedness, and I believe that the collective already has that sense of the all, has that knowing of the all, but I feel here that it's like an inside layer. I'm hoping this will make sense. It's like an inside layer, okay, of the interconnectedness within the all. It's like it's knowing and being of the all, but there is an opening and an embodying of a role within the interconnectedness. It's like someone is stepping into, or people in the collective here are stepping into some sort of self-empowered role, okay? Letting go of false pretenses of the self and of others, okay? Masks and lies and deception that was used to control the 3D, the third reality here, that was used to control one's past, that was used to veil someone's star quality, that solar plexus, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm hearing regeneration, but I just want to say generation, okay? That generative ability of the life force energy. It's as though this was capped, this was caged, this was held back, this was oppressed and controlled through some sort of entity, okay, that manifested through multiple experiences in one's life, that manifested through multiple people and connections in one's life, okay? It's like it was spread over, it was a cast, it was a dome of this, it's like an oppression, and the self also played a role in this, okay, because of conditioning, because of programming. The ego played a role in this because of self-protective methods and an ignorance to what the true self was, what the inner self really contained and was in essence, okay? There's a knowledge of being the power here. There's a knowledge of being the creator, and of not just stepping into that role, but embracing the release of the false reality, of the false matrix, of the those false pretenses that were placed upon us. Okay, it's extremely emboldening. It's extremely awakening. It's rejuvenating, okay? It's like you're expressing yourself. It's expressing the inner self, truly. It's finding new ways to express because of it's like you had a sense or a point of self-realization, and it's almost like come full circle. There's something about completion. There's something about achievement. There's something about and completion and achievement through the eyes of the truth of love, of unconditional love and light for the self and for the interconnectedness. Okay, there's something about this channel that's coming through. There's something about the completion of integrating the self with the other. Okay, it's an opening. There's a trusting not only in the self or the all, but in others, because the other is part of the self, and vice versa. Okay. That was a channel. Okay, Spirit. What do we have to add to this message? I got hot through that. Okay, I just saw the Five of Cups in the reverse, the Queen of Swords, and the Devil card in the reverse. Okay, there's a placing of boundaries when it comes to the constrictions of the past. When it comes to the constrictions of the past and the bindings of the past, the chains that held us back, okay, these conditionings, this programming, any sort of toxicity of the self, any sort of toxicity of the self and of the, sorry, I'm going to do this on the camera. Not sorry, actually. Better. Okay. This conditioning of the self, this cage over the soul, this cage. Okay, there's a release that's happening here. Okay, and it's through setting boundaries with the sorrow, with the pity, with the lack of that the third density would like to place upon us, okay, that the darkness would like to place upon the light. Now there's a need for the dark and for the light, okay? Nothing is to say negative here. There can be negativities that arise from the bindings, from the programmings, the conditionings, but it's not negative in itself, right? It just is. It is the polarity. It is something that is needed to have the dualistic nature of, I have the sun and the moon. Okay, there must be a reason that I'm using this. I don't ever use this. I just decided I would grab it. Okay, there is a calibration of the ego self and the soul self, the inner self, the we'll say the subconscious and the conscious. We'll say the anima and the animus. These different parts of the psyche, but it's more than just the psyche, it's the soul. Okay? It's a full integration between the shadow and the light aspects of the self. There's a synthesis that's going on here regarding the awakened and the unawakened within the self and outside of the self. It's like everything is working in tandem on all sides. It's like, I don't know if there's a word that I'm looking for, something that can describe this. It's harmony. It's harmony. Okay, Spirit, can you help me further verbalize this energy, this empowered sense here? Okay, there's a breaking away from the past. There's an opportunity to let go. Okay, there's an opportunity. There's a choice here. This is a choice with the Two of Wands. This is a choice to break away from some sort of shadow aspects, to release some sort of burdens. Okay, not just some sort of burdens. This is the burden that weighs on the soul. This is the burden that cages the self, okay? This is a victim mentality, and this is what, with the devil energy here in the reverse, that you're releasing, that you're letting go of. There is opportunity, okay, to integrate the shadow aspect, to integrate what was once unconscious, to awaken. There is some sort of it's like another spiritual awakening of some type. It's a new spiritual awakening. I feel there's energies here present that have not been present before, okay? It's taking a new step. Okay, someone is moving past what I call the shaky baby leg phase. Like a newborn giraffe or a newborn deer or a horse. They come out and they're ready to walk. They come out knowing what to do. These animals, these wild animals, they come out knowing what to do, but they're very shaky about it. They're very wobbly. So you've moved past this first point. There's been a self-realization. You've come out knowing what you're going to do, okay? Now there's some sort of implementation, and this implementation is coming from a self-empowerment. There's an opportunity here, and there's something physical. You are changing something in your physical realm. You are embracing something in the physical realm through release, is what I got before I started this reading. I was, as I was preparing for this reading, I got that there was a embracing through release, okay, which is it's like contradicting. You're releasing something, but you're embracing it at the same time. I'm not exactly sure. Like, it's not something that the logical mind can wrap itself around. This is a feeling. It's not just a feeling, it's an embodiment here, okay? It's happening through a release of some sort of subconscious binding, some sort of conditioned, programmed beliefs about the self, about the empowerment of the self, about the level of power that the self holds. As I had said, there's something about the knowledge of, I am the power, I am the creator, I am the all, the being. It's an inside outside. There's a union. There's a unity that's happening, a unity to the self and unity to the inner self, the soul and the body. There's a coming together here. And this entails a coming together with this entails a coming together with others as well under this Aquarius new moon. There's some sort of powerful new beginning when it comes to our connections, when it comes to our connections to the self, but also our connections to the outside, to family, to friends, to animals and plants and partners and etc. It's to everything, okay, to the web. It's like connecting to the unseen forces. It's more than an acknowledgement of it. It's an embodiment of the net of, the interconnectedness. I hope this is coming across clearly. I'm channeling like crazy right now. I don't always channel. There's a lot of times where I'm speaking about my own wisdom from my own experiences. There's a lot of times that I'm reading from the cards and I'm interpreting messages. But I've been feeling very much divinely guided and inspired lately. I've been having a lot of channels come through where I can feel this. I can feel an energy, and I'm getting a lot better at verbalizing channeling and downloads. I think. Okay. We have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Seven of Cups in the reverse here, okay? There's a letting go of illusions. There's a cutting through. Again, at the beginning of this message, of the channel, there was releasing false pretenses. It's cutting through. You're releasing, and I had to look up what false pretense meant because, it came through clairaudiently, and I knew that it had to do with, there was something about law, I knew, but I didn't know the exact definition, okay? And it's basically a deception, a lie, a falsity for someone to gain something at their own expense, to take something valuable of someone else's for their own gain, okay? Now, this was something that is conditioned and programmed. This was something that was conditioned and programmed through, again, an entity that casted itself upon many experiences and connections throughout your life. But the self, the ego, also played a role in this, the false self, if you will, right? Not necessarily, I don't want to put that label on it, the false self, because it just doesn't resonate. It doesn't fit. Okay, because it's not a false self. It's the conditioned self. It's the programmed self. It's the pre-awakened self. It's the self that caters to the third density, right? It's not a false self. It is a self. But it's a mask. It's a false pretense, right? So it's a cutting through the lies that we've told ourselves throughout our entire lives. whether they came from our family, friends, society, from work and school, these systems, okay, the government. I'm not going to get into that, but it's false pretense that was placed upon you to gain from your light. That's solar plexus, from the inner self, from the soul, from the inner authority. Okay, the empowerment of the self was used by this entity that played itself through different experiences and connections, situations throughout your life, whether that be from family, friends, partners, business, again, school, work, whatever, okay? It played itself through everything. And that's how it was able to cast, and that's how it was able to cast, I'm hearing cast a shadow. It was able to cast itself around the self, okay? It was... The throat chakra just shut down for a second. Oh my gosh. Message is already coming out. Okay, it's ooh, Jesus. It's a cutting through the blockages, the cast around, I guess, is the self-empowerment comes through the voice, the self-empowerment, the embodiment of the inner self, of the true self, of the soul, of your purpose on this planet comes through your voice, okay? That's how it is emanated through, okay? Yes, it emanates through the aura, it emanates through vibration and that which is not seen, but the embodied empowerment of that is speaking your truth, okay? It is the authentic story of the soul, of your path, of your purpose, okay, through the inner self. And this is what is being cut through here. It's like it was like there was a shell, a cast. That's what I keep seeing. It's like a thick layer. It's like a crust around the innards. It's a crust around the pearl. Now I'm seeing a shell and a pearl, a clam. Okay, it's opening up. It's like the gem within. I'm getting an image here of the archetype card, the gem. The gem within has been found. It's not only been found, it's been realized. And now it's being, with the Page of Pentacles, it's being self-actualized, okay? There's more than just like the realization. There is now the implementation, the first steps, the legs are strong. The legs are strong now. And someone feels as though they can move on their own, that they don't need someone or my collective or whoever happens across this video or resonates with this, okay? You feel as though you're able to now move on your own. And this isn't just with lack of support or lack of guidance. This is lack of external, without the mirror on the outside, okay? Someone here, or all of you, or whoever's resonating with this video, okay, you have come into a level of self-mastery that allows you to, or not allows you to, enables you, not enables, empowers you to trust the self and the decision of the self, the guidance of the self, without, I heard precursors. I don't know the definition of that, but I'm guessing that feels like, precursors feels like a path, like something that was set, okay, that was decided for you, okay? You've broken out of something that was decided for you, what other people told you to be, what other people told you were, okay, what other people expected of you. There's a freedom from expectation, these false pretenses. There's a freedom from these, these expectations that were placed upon you by yourself, by others, the external world, by society, by family, by your ego, by quote-unquote false self, for lack of better word, okay? For lack of better word here. Oh, like it's a liberation. It's a freedom. I'm getting like a rising feeling here. Okay, I want to read the gem here. I'm gonna hold it for you so you can look at this beautiful energy. Really, really look into this. I'm seeing kind of like a Merkaba energy, the light body, the energetic body, stepping into the spiritual self here. Again, that Merkaba it's embodiment of the light body. It's a synthesis of it's a integration or a temperance. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a pulling together of the body and the spirit, okay? The diamond, the gold, the inner treasure. There are infinite names for the gem. It is also known as the jewel, the star, the talent, the gift, the gold. So there's some sort of gift that has been not only realized, but is now being self-actualized. Whatever this gift may be is going to be different for every single one of you. Now, this could be a gift that is physical, that is tangible, or it can be a gift that is within the self, okay? But either way, or it could be both, there is something that is known, okay? There is something that you are aware that you possess, that you were blessed with in this life, that you were born with in this life, that you were meant to share with the world, okay? You were meant to shine. And I'm seeing this is the underworld back here, okay? Through all of 77 could be a significant number for some of you, but this underworld here, throughout all of the muck, all of the conditioning, the programming, all of the self-doubt and the limitations of the self and of other, the separation, the isolation, through again, the muck, you have found and embodied this star quality is what I want to call it. Okay, when I say the star quality, it's the embracing of the solar plexus energy, the purpose, the life force. Okay, it's not denying it; it's accepting it as the reality of the self. Okay. One thing for certain is that it is found deep within a substance that is very much unlike it. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit more. Okay, so you had to be within a system, an environment, whether that be, again, family, society, et cetera, et cetera. I already listed everything. Whatever it might have been, you had to be in something that was quite the opposite of you. You had to be like initiated through something that was opposite of you, because the thing is that these opposites had to work in tandem to create the wholeness. Okay, the completion. Something has to come full circle, and for something to come full circle, you have to have all the working parts. All these LED lights are making me really hot right now. You have to work in tandem with all of the parts in order to bring something full circle. I had a dream a while ago where it was like the inside and the outside. It seemed as though they were working against each other, but they were working together. And it was like at some point they flipped, they switched. The inside went outside, the outside went inside. And in the end, they like completed something, and it was very celebratory, okay? And it was others, and it was also the self. Like, I don't know how to verbalize this energy. Okay, I just keep on saying the inside, the outside, at all angles. Behind and forward, to the sides, diagonally, like it's all encompassing. And I really, really wish. Okay, we have the ring here, the infinite, the wheel, the connection. Cyclical, there's something. I really wish that I had the word for whatever this is, but I don't. Not yet. It sometimes after. It actually often happens that after I try to verbalize an energy, I soon after learn what that was. I like come across the word that fits exactly what I was trying to express. So hopefully I come across it. I may not, but I might. And if I do, I will share it in the comment section, okay? All right. But you had to go through something that was very much unlike yourself. You had to experience things that were very much unlike yourself so it could create this mirror image, so that it could reflect to you all the woundings, the limitations, the conditionings, the programmings, the negativities, okay, the temptations and the addictions that held the self back, that encased, that crusted over this beauty, this treasure within the self. The gem always stands in contrast to its surroundings, okay? It was things that you went through that helped you realize yourself through the contrast of it being so different from the self, from the inner self, from the true self. It's like, even if it was a part of the self, it was contrasted against the inner self. And this could have been very extremely uncomfortable, this rubbing energy, okay? And I know I was channeling this rubbing energy a couple months ago too. Maybe it was a little longer than that. Time is eluding me right now, as I haven't been with my readings for a while, as I had other things to tend to, but sorry. It's like, even if it was parts of the self, these things had to contrast, and it could have been very uncomfortable, very, it was too, and now I'm getting, in the Osho Zen, I'm getting the breakthrough card. It had to be this way so that you would make a change. You were forced to make a change through extreme uncomfortability within the self, within the vessel, because the external, or the ego, the environment, and the ego were not aligned with the inner self and the truth of the soul, okay? It was something that definitely needed to be... It's something that needed to be handled. It was something that needed to be healed. It was something that needed to be broken out of, for lack of better word. Okay? I had to break out of this casing. And this case, the thing is it was a casing. It was a crust. It was hard. It was very hard to break out of this, to break through this. And it looks like, he looks like he's kind of breaking through a casing here too. Like you were in an egg. You were being incubated. Okay, I'll get into that one. I haven't even finished reading this card, and I'm on to another. I thought that I was going to be rusty coming back in for you guys, but I am not. Okay, the gem always stands in contrast to its surroundings. You can't find it when you are among comforts and pleasantries. Again, you had to get uncomfortable. It had to be almost aggressively unpleasant, right? Precious stones develop slowly deep in the earth amid pressure and darkness. Discovering the gem requires a descent beneath the surface where there is no definitive map. Okay, it was uncharted. You didn't know what to do there. You could not find that solar plexus, that self-empowerment, that ability to lead and truly express the inner self, okay, without doing it on your own, without getting deep down in there and figuring out by yourself with no direction, with no guidance. Okay? Now, this is definitely a reading for those of you that are leaders, for those of you that are here to guide through your own personal experiences and wisdom gained from these experiences of breaking out of the casting, of breaking out of the mold of the third density, of healing the own woundings and limitations and programs and conditionings, okay? This reading is for those that are stepping into a leadership role, a responsibility that they are taking on because there is an interconnectedness. It's like putting the self to the side because the purpose here is to serve the greater collective, is to serve the interconnectedness, okay? Someone has stepped into their purpose through the realization of their role. And the confidence, okay? There's a gaining, a building of confidence of one's path, of one's direction, okay? Precious stones develop deeply. Where was I at? Discovering the gem requires a descent beneath the surface where there is no definitive map. Yet the longing to touch the true gem within us is so strong that we cannot help but seek out its radiance. Your gem, like your destiny, is unlike any other in the entire world. Keep digging. Okay, when this is light, it is unique, shining, generative, irreplaceable. You have found the element of yourself that is unique to you specifically, that no one else embodies. You have found it, and you are embodying it, and you are now emanating it. This is where you are being guided to, on your own personal path. It's going to be different for every single one of you what this direction is, but you are being guided to speak your truth in the direction of your purpose, okay? Now that you know what you are here to be doing, okay? And now I want to read the breakthrough card of the Osho Zen. Woo! This is an incredibly inspiring message. I'm extremely hot. There's a lot of passion here, a lot of passion. Okay. The predominance of red in this card indicates a glance that its subject is energy, power, and strength. Extremely powerful solar plexus energy, extremely powerful passion here with this red. The brilliant glow emanates from the solar plexus. What? Continue. Or center of power on the figure, and the posture is one of exuberance and determination. All of us occasionally reach a point when enough is enough. Okay, rock bottom, this underground, where you felt absolutely, at one point, you felt absolutely consumed by I'm hearing disgust with the self. Okay, with that false self, for lack of a better word, with that ego, with all of the false pretenses that were conditioned and played upon by the ego and all of the experiences and connections outside of the self, okay? Enough is enough. You hit some sort of bedrock. You drilled all the way down, or life drilled you all the way down to the point where you had to embrace something new. You had to move. It was so uncomfortable, okay? Enough is enough here. At such times, it seems we must do something, anything, even if it later turns out to be a mistake, to throw off the burdens and restrictions that are limiting us. It's like you said, even if this fails, even if I fail, even if I don't get where I want to go, okay, you released expectation and took a step forward. You said, I'm doing this thing because I need to do something. Okay, there was an extreme restlessness within the self. Okay, because of this rubbing, there was so much heat. There was so much heat. There was so much passion. There was so much friction that was happening that something had to give. And what had to give was you. You had to give of yourself to something. Okay, whatever that might be for you personally, even if it was giving of the self to the self, but it feels as though it was giving to the self, giving of the self to the self through others or for others, okay? There's that interconnectedness again, okay? If we don't throw off these burdens and restrictions, if we don't do something, anything, then these burdens and restrictions that limit us, they threaten to suffocate and cripple our very life energy itself, okay? You are threatened to give up. You are threatened to diminish the self, to release the gem, to give up the gold to someone else, okay? False pretenses into someone else being, it could have been a literal person. It could have been a society. It could have been your government, your systems. It could have been something. Right? But in essence, it was an entity that worked through these things. And you almost gave up the gold. I'm hearing the song from that, I stole your diamonds and gold, what are you going to do with it? What is that? Origami by Capital Cities, I believe. I'm 98% sure that that's the song. Okay, so maybe check that song out. Maybe check the lyrics out or process some of those lyrics. See if they resonate with you. Okay. if you are now feeling that enough is enough, okay, for those of you that are feeling that you are in this rubbing, that you are in this underworld, that you are like, where do I go from here? I need to do something. My soul is I feel icky. I feel like you feel so uncomfortable inside of your skin. You want to break out of your body. You want to tear your skin off. I know that's like severe imagery, but that's how severe this process is. Okay? If you are in this process here, if you are in this feeling that enough is enough, allow yourself to take the risk of shattering the old patterns and limitations that have kept your energy from flowing. In doing so, you will be amazed at the vitality and empowerment this breakthrough can bring to your life. You are being urged by the inner self, the higher self, quite possibly here. And I'm seeing this in the transformation card. This is the death card. This is the awakening card. This is the rebirth of the self. This is the creation of a new self through an ending of an old self, of false pretense, of etc., an ending, right? It's a rising of, we'll say the phoenix. It's not a phoenix there. Unless we want to say maybe a white phoenix, the white phoenix. Okay, going through this violet flame process of transmutation of old energies and paradigms and conditioning. Okay, it's breaking through. You are being urged to accept this process, not just accept this process, but dive into it, to take it head on, to take it face on, because the only way that we can get through things in life is taking it head on, is facing it directly. That's the only way that you can shatter false concepts and break out of the 3D matrix that holds you in suffering, that holds you in lack, that holds you in the shadow elements of the self, okay? And not in an integrated way, that holds you in the shadow element, acting through woundings, through ego, through, unconsciousness. And the bindings that lie there, okay? You're being guided to break through this, to illuminate yourself away from distractions here, okay? This is cutting through distractions. These distractions here, it's of the appearance, it's of the home, it's of the jewels and the riches, it's of temptations having to do with the flesh, of sex, of partying, of drugs and substances, okay? It's of anger here with the dragon. It's the unconscious, the animalistic, primal nature of the self, okay? What else do we have here? Of status and achievement. These are all temptations of the third density. These are all ways in which the third density cages us and cages our gem and steals our life force from us, okay? And those that work through, whether consciously or unconsciously, this controlling and oppressive false pretense, okay? Which is most of the systems that rule the world at this time, the patriarchy, and those that work through the patriarchy. And now the patriarchy is not just masculine, it's not just male, okay? It's masculine in nature. But it's not just male-derived, okay? There are plenty of feminine figures that play into this patriarchal oppression of the divine femininity that is interwoven. Why do I feel like I'm saying that wrong? That is interweaved through our nature, okay? Woo! Woo! Okay, you're being guided to break through these distractions, okay? To come to a place of honesty with the self, to be brutally honest with the self and those outside of you, to break away from all that which is not aligned with you. To break away from all that which does not feel true to the self, that does not feel comfortable to the self, and not comfortable in a way of, I'm comfortable here and I don't have to grow. Comfortable in the way of the inner child, the safety of the inner child. Okay, we have to challenge our comfort zone. This breakthrough cannot happen, okay, unless, like it said, you challenge your comfort zone, you break out of it. You're allowing this casting to be placed upon you because you don't, if you're still, going through this process, this rubbing process, you don't feel empowered within yourself. You don't trust yourself. For some of you, you might not know yourself. And you're in this process of getting to know yourself, whether you've just begun this or you're nearing the end of this cycle. Okay, you're going through this metamorphosis, okay, so that you may break out of this conditioning, this false conditioning that has been placed upon you to steal the truth of your purpose, the truth of your inner empowerment, the truth of the soul. Okay, we have the Page of Wands and the Hanged Man. We have release and embrace. Okay, we have a new journey. There's a new journey that's being taken on here with this breakthrough card. One second, I want to read one more time something here. You will be amazed at the vitality and empowerment, shattering the old patterns and limitations that have kept your energy from flowing, okay? You're releasing. I'm going to see here what you're releasing. What are we releasing here with the Hanged Man? Here we are. The Chariot, the Emperor. There's a release of... Wow. No, this isn't a release. This is a surrender to, is what this is. Wow. This is a surrender to divine masculine energy. Okay, divine masculine energy, embracing the femininity within the self, is what is going to balance out the patriarchal energy on this planet. Okay? Someone is embracing their divine masculine. Someone's coming into union with their divine masculine. And I don't mean on the outside, okay? It could be for some of you, but this is coming into divine union with the divine masculine of the self, okay? There is a unity that is taking place here. And it is through an empowerment, a self-empowerment through the emotional body, okay? Through the feminine. It's like the masculine is being empowered and embracing their power through the feminine, through the quality of the nurturing. Okay, there's a lot of balance here within the emotional body and within the control of the self. There is serious discipline here. Okay, and this isn't controlling the self in a way that's toxic or negative. This is controlling the self in a way that brings awareness and in a way that brings flow. Okay, that brings this incredible energy back to the self. Like, is this not straight up solar plexus energy? Okay, we have Aries energy here, and we have Cancer energy. We have Pisces as well. Okay, it's through the emotion. It's the Aries energy is very driven. It's very empowered. It's very ambitious. Okay, it's stepping into this through the intuition of the Pisces energy, of the Cancer energy, of the compassion, of the nurturing, of the understanding of that which is outside of us and that which we cannot control, knowing what we can control and what we cannot control. Okay, it's breaking through the illusion of that which controls us as well. Okay, with this Page of Wands energy. This Page of Wands energy, you're stepping into a new direction that allows you to overflow with energy, with vitality. Okay, it's like you're regenerating yourself here. There's not a guidance. There's not an external guidance. There's no codependency here. This isn't relying on another. This is a complete reliance on the self here. It's embracing through surrendering. Okay, so maybe it's not release. Maybe it is surrender. It's embracing surrender to the self, to the power. It's not being afraid of one's own power. Okay, I think that a lot of conditioning a lot of the underworld, okay, the not feeling like you have the power, feeling powerless, feeling helpless, feeling as though you have to look external for guidance, like you can't do it yourself. 444 could be a significant number for some of you, or just the number 4, okay? The structuring of the self, the structuring of the external. There's a new structure that's being implemented here, okay? It's oh shoot, I lost where I was. It's an empowerment, where you were feeling powerless, helpless. This came from not believing in the self and not having the courage to accept the self for who you are, okay? For most of you, the reason, and for everyone really, the reason that we get set back in the underworld is all those sticky, yucky thoughts, okay? That gunk, that, the disbelief of the self, the hatred of the self, the downplaying of the self, the pushing the self down. It's that 8 of Swords energy, shame and guilt, okay? I am ashamed. I am guilty. I am stuck here. I have no way to get out of this because I am bad, okay? That energy is what holds people back from embracing the gem, from breaking through, from stepping into their power, because it's a fear of one's own power. It's a fear of 5D energy, of embodying the inner self, the true self, I'm not resonating. I don't resonate with the false self, true self. I just know that they're labels that people do use, and it verbalizes an energy very well. But I don't resonate with it. Okay, you were or you are, depending on where you're at in this breakthrough, okay, where you are in this this rebirth of the self, you are or were fearful of the power that you hold within yourself. You are or were fearful of breaking out of the mold because of a lack of direction, of a lack of guidance. You have the power to lead. You have the power to embrace the world at large and to take steps without knowing what comes next, okay? Because you don't need to be afraid of what comes next. A leader leads without this fear of failure, okay? Because failure it's not a concept to give into, because failure means that it's ended. And nothing ends, okay? It just recycles and it comes back around. Failure is an opportunity. Mistakes, quote unquote, are an opportunity to recalibrate, to adjust, to learn, to grow, okay, to further embody what is true to the self. Failure is not something to be ashamed about or to feel guilty about. Failure is an opportunity to expand your horizons, for one, to expand your perspective, to expand your reach, and that which you can mentally grasp, with that which you can energetically understand. Okay? And it comes through embracing the emotions and understanding the emotions, feeling the emotions, not thinking the emotions. We don't have the King of Swords here. We have the King of Cups here, which is all about emotional... Excuse me. Sorry, that was gross. That was a gross burp. Which is all about embracing the emotional fluidity and vulnerability. Okay, this is emotion. This is stoicism. And stoicism comes from an emotional wisdom. Okay? Unity. This new journey that you are taking on is something of unity. Okay? There's ideas, there's fresh ideas, there's concepts. You're like, oh man, I'm ready and raring to go. Okay? And it's because of this unity with the self and the unity with all outside of you, and possibly for some of you, unity with another, but that's not going to be for everyone, and that's not the key point here. Okay, the key point is the empowerment of the self, the embracing, the embodiment of that solar plexus, that purpose. Okay? And there is something here with the Five of Swords. There is something that has threatened, okay, within the self or outside of the self. Everything stems from inside the self, though. Keep that in mind. That has, why is there a bug here? Go away. That has threatened to steal the gold, right? Okay, this is the ego. This is the self. Ooh, we have the Empress here. And we have the Knight of Wands. Okay, wow. We have the